Everyone, welcome to another video of Blue-White Familiars. Today I'm taking my deck into the Pauper Challenge on Sunday, November 11th. I've decided to make some minor tweaks to the deck. I will be running another 3 Last Breaths in the sideboard, and then a Brainstorm over a Seagate Oracle in the main. So just going over the deck, we have 4 flicker effects, 2 ghostly flickers, 2 ephemerates, ghostly flicker combos with Sunscape Familiar, which makes your green and blue spells cost 1 less to cast. So when we have 2 Sunscape Familiars out and 1 Archaeomancer, we can flicker Archaeomancer and a basic island and get back the flicker for free. So it's a mana neutral loop, and then that combines with Sage's Road Denizen, which says whenever another blue creature enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. Enters the battlefield under your control. So Archaeomancer enters the battlefield, gets back Flicker, get this triggered, they mill, and then you just flicker a few times and mill them out. In order to get to that spot, we have Forgot Pharaoh's Faithful to gain life and stall, has an 0/4 as a great blocker. We have 4 Preordains to dig and set up the draws. I'm using 1 Brainstorm here because I decided to go with 7 fetches, and that combos kind of well. Gives you another early game or late game play. And to do that, I removed 1 Seagate Oracle, so I'm on 3 Seagate Oracles. I also have 3 Deep Analysis for late game card draw, and it also helps us power through counterspells because of the flashback. If they counter it, I just get to pay 2 and just continue drawing cards. So it essentially is a 4 for 1 for 3 life, but you can easily 2 or 3 for 1 your opponent. Stonehorn Dignitary says you can't have combat, and we can flicker it. And Muldrifter is the premier card draw fishy fish. In the sideboard, we have the 3 Last Breaths. It says exile target creature with power 2 or less. Its controller gains 4 life. That's not super important, but it can actually help us versus burn. So I'll bring it in versus burn to kill a Thermo Alchemist, or actually to maybe kill one of my creatures that are getting bolted and give myself 4 life. I've used it a few times to counter a lethal Fire Blast. Stonehorn Dignitary, we want all 4 copies against aggro. Hydroblast, we have 3 of these specifically against burn, and we bring them in against decks that are going to be going up to 8 red blasts against us. We have 3 negates. These are really good against red blast and land destruction, and against things like Battle Screech and Distant Melody, and other things maybe like Bondage Ornament. I decided to use Remove Souls instead of Exclude here because it's a lower mana cost, which will help me against decks like Walls. We have 1 Nature's Chant. We're using Nature's Chant over something like Disenchant because it's a green mana cost and it gets discounted by the familiar. The mana base is 4 Bounce Lands, 4 Ash Barrens, 3 Evolving Wilds, 7 Islands, and 2 Plains, and 1 Mortuary Mire. I decided to remove the 5th copy of Bounce Lands just to kind of like increase the consistency of the mana, and I'm using 3 Prohibits instead of any counterspells main, because it's very good against Fae and Boros Monarch decks, so I think it's probably fine. And instead of having like 1 counterspell to try to mise a counterspell lock. And we will see you in the matches. Thanks.